Thank you for staying tuned. It is still the conversation here on Lagos Television. And our conversation on this side is one that is of interest to entrepreneurs, investors, and residents generally here in Lagos. As Nigeria's commercial hub and Africa's fifth largest economy, Lagos State plays a central role in shaping the nation's economic outlook. But how easy is it to start and grow a business here in Lagos? What are the bottlenecks and what are the opportunities? Well, to give answers to all these questions that I have raised and more is Leke Ogundimu. He is a seasoned business development strategist with vast experience in helping businesses thrive despite economic challenges. It's good to have you back again here on the conversation.
Good morning. I'm honored to be here this morning. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're talking about conducive business environment here in Lagos. Now, from your perspective and based on your experience over the years, what does a conducive business environment mean?
Thank you. Basically, as a chartered consultant and a business strategist, I've worked with so many businesses here in Lagos, and I can tell you confidently that the city itself has made significant strides, right, in ensuring that it has provided, a conducive business environment. And this goes to different areas. Basically, if you look at the population, it's one thing that has set Lagos aside distinctively, making it a hub for commercial activities and businesses, looking at the fact that you have about 21 million residents.
Over 24.
Right. So, that's a whole lot of opportunity for whatever business that is, that has decided to operate within the metropolis, In addition to that, one thing I also understand is that aside from the population, which, presents an opportunity to everyone who decides to, run a business in this part of the world, you also have another thing to leverage on, and that I call infrastructure. Right. You can't compare the infrastructure in Lagos to any other states, right, in Nigeria at the moment, and that also positions you for better turnover, right, if you leverage it right. Another thing that I've seen is that the Lagos state government itself is working earnestly to ensure that there are ways of supporting small growing businesses that are already at the incubating level and those who are already accelerating, They are doing quite a lot, creating a conducive business environment, looking at the Ministry of Training and Estab, the creation of that ministry, looking at the likes of LSCTF, and also not leaving one thing behind in also supporting the trade fair where they organize, that's like a commercial hub where you have annual trade fair programs and all. So with all of this, it's presenting different opportunities from different sides to individuals that are willing to tap into it.
All right, we'll continue this conversation right after this short break. We'll return shortly. Thank you for staying tuned. We are still discussing conducive business environment here in Lagos, and with us here in the studio is Lekan Ogundimo, a business. Leki, I'm giving you another name. Leki Ogundimo, a business development strategist, and he has spoken extensively on why Lagos indeed is has a conducive business environment. But again, there's something that we've had, especially music artists here on the show, and they've always said something about, oh, if you have not come to Lagos, you have not started. And so I'm looking at business not only in the trade of buying and selling.
Interesting.
Let's look at also the business, the entertainment business sector. Now, why is Lagos so attractive?
Okay, if we are going in that direction, I'm also going to be picking it up from the fundamentals of what entertainment is all about. Right. There is no music that has been heard, you know, in the early days of what they call hip-hop today, you know, that didn't emanate from Lagos. Right. If you look at the days of the likes of Two-Face, before Two-Face were the three guys.
Sensation Boys.
No. Two-Face was part of the Sensation Boys, Plantation Boys. But then there were these other guys, the Remedies. You know, so they also popped up from Lagos, and from Lagos people got to hear them, and several other people, like Rugged Man, the rest of them, you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s and all that, you know, these people, you know, became stars. They got trending because they were in Lagos. So Lagos has this tendency of being perceived. It's not just perception anyway, it is about the reality, because trends even would come from Lagos and then it moves to other states. They adopt it. Whatever it is that is done in Lagos is what other people would adopt eventually. So if you look at it, Lagos, given the number of populations, given the central hub that it has positioned itself to be, you have different type of people from different race, different tribes, different, you know, coming together, and, you know, this is one place that unifies everybody. So it's a place where ideas are popping up on daily basis, you know, regardless. The kind of ideas you have within you now that you probably cannot bounce with your friends in the village, right? That's if you're not a Lagosian like we are, right? You don't want to bounce such ideas with them, because why? They are going to kill it right from there. But when you get to Lagos and you bounce out with other people, they look at it and they see how they can fine-tune it. You know, they see how they can possibly make it a reality. And with that, you know, before you know it, before too long, it becomes something that everybody is celebrating.
Okay, you have cited indeed why Lagos is really a place for businesses to thrive. But now let's look at some of the challenges that entrepreneurs are facing, even those who are yet to start up.
All right. So some of the challenges borders around the fact that, like I said earlier, Lagos is doing quite a lot to ensure that it remains the central hub, and it has been the central hub. But of course, we spoke about infrastructure earlier, and I gave it to the Lagos State government. But that's not to say there are still not a few areas of infrastructure to be looked into. Basically, as much as everybody recognizes Lagos as a hub for business or commercial hub, we still have one identity that can't be taken away from Lagos, and that's traffic. You get where I'm coming from, right? We have the positive side, and we have, I'm not going to say this is a very negative, not but so because the number of people residing here are on the increase on daily basis. So the government needs to do more in ensuring that our plans are not for the number of persons residing in Lagos today. As a charter consultant, I understand that in the next 5 years, we won't be talking about over 21 million people in Lagos. We're going to be talking about over 25, 26 million people in Lagos, because the youth of these days would have grown. Some who are within the age range of 18, 19, 17, who are not yet planning marriage at that time would have gotten married. And they will start reproducing. And that means that the population would have increased. So I'm saying that the government needs to look into the future beyond what is currently obtainable and also plan for it.
I know another challenge is finance. And yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You want us to also talk about finance?
Yes.
Finance is everywhere. Yeah. Whether you're in Lagos or in Abuja, you are in Oshodi, finance is not automatic for anybody anywhere. But when you talk about finance, Lagos still positions you in a position, in such a place where you could be better funded compared to, so I'm not, if you're talking about Lagos, I'm not going to say finance is a challenge in Lagos.
Okay.
It's a challenge generally for business, because with the likes of LSETF, who could, give you as much as 500,000 to start up a business. So I won't say finance is a challenge in this part of the world.
So as long as you know what you're doing.
As long as you know what you're doing and you know the right buttons to press. This is not about I know Mr. A or Mr. B when I say the buttons, which means that when you tap into the opportunities that are available within the city.
All right. And technology has transformed basically the way we live our lives right now, and it has transformed different sectors, and the business sector is one that it has really come to play. So let's look at how technology can also help create a conducive business environment. Yeah,
we cannot underplay the role of technology in the conducive business environment in Lagos, because basically, I mentioned something earlier. I'm talking about infrastructure and a bit of defects that is still here and there, with regards to infrastructure. If you need to be on the road, I need to be on the road, he needs to be on the road, and by the time we all hit the road with our vehicles in one morning, it means that the road is going to be more congested, true or false. But with the invent of technology, right, you find that people can do more without being on the road, using the likes of Zoom, Teams, Google Meets, and the rest of it. That's technology. In a way, it has positioned us. I mean, we can see ourselves. I don't need to be there before you see me. I don't need to be here before I see you. Right. So with the help of technology, so many things has improved. That's number one. Number two, the role of technology, again, is what brought about the Uber, so even if I choose not to be on the road with my car, knowing fully well that we have about, let's say, 20,000 Uber drivers in Lagos at the moment.
Taxi? Will you be taxi now?
Oh, taxi? Okay, am I advertising already?
Yes.
Apologies on that. Right, so you have chauffeurs everywhere and they're ready to do whatever they need to do for you. So I might as well decide not to come out with my car and use, one of those with the help of my phone and the internet. Right. So technology has a way of contributing so much to what we're doing in Lagos and making it a conducive environment. And if you look at it, most of these, I don't want to taxis. I'll still say taxis, like you rightly said, right? They didn't start elsewhere. They all started in Lagos. That's still one of the. So if anything thrives in Lagos, there is this understanding that that same thing would thrive anywhere across the globe. If you are a person and you are able to survive in Lagos, people feel. And I think they are right. It's not just a feeling. It's the reality, right? That when you get anywhere else in the world, you will definitely survive.
Still talking about how technology has transformed the business sector. Now let's look at online businesses now. Gone are the days where you need to have a shop or a physical place where people can come and transact business with you. You have a lot of people doing businesses online. Let's also look at how that has evolved over the years, and then also look at the other side of it when it has to do with the fraudulent activities as well.
Okay, so we are still analyzing the challenges, right? Okay, so for fraudulent activity, I like to arrogate that to safety, business safety in Lagos, and but for individuals who did what you mentioned earlier, I like to tackle that first before going to the fraudulent activities. Those who are doing businesses online, whereby they tell you order for A, what's you ordered versus what you got. Is that what you mean?
That's part
Beautiful.
of it.
Okay, so you see, we can actually have this streamlined if only the government is willing to put. Okay, right about now there is something ongoing. Let me start with that. The agents in Nigeria, or in Lagos specifically, have been seen to run their activities in an excessive manner, such that as it is right now, the cost of paying an agent is almost the same as what you need to pay for the house rent.
Oh,
right? Now, so if you look at that, the state government is already wading into it, and they are doing a lot to curb their activities. So what they are doing now is that they've insisted that if you must be an agent in Lagos, then you need to register with the Lagos State government as an agent. And when you register with the Lagos State government, they have the prerogative to dictate to you what to do, in a very reasonable manner. I understand that if you're doing a business of 1 million and you gain 50,000, you've had a profit. It's reasonable enough. But when you're doing a deal of 1 million and you're expecting 500,000 or 750,000, it's outrageous. Right. So what the government is set to do at the moment is to put a system in place and ensure that they do not overshoot, what I'll call reasonability, the ideals. Right. So basically, the same thing applies to this set of people that are doing businesses online. Let there be a body that coordinates them. Right? It's very possible. It's very, very possible. If that person does not have a particular number, it could be a tag, it could be a number for identification, just so they can tell people that I am part of the body that has been created by the state government and I belong to that body. So I align with everything that body says we should do. So if that person does not have that tag or that number, don't deal with them. So I believe that it's a process and we will get there. The government is doing quite a lot to ensure that they curb that and that you don't keep... I've been a victim. I've paid to people for certain things, online, and I never got them. And before too long, you find that account does not exist anymore. That's the funny part. So, I mean, the Lagos State government needs to look into that because people are beginning to get comfortable shopping from the corner of their homes, truth be told. When you consider the stress... I also want us
to look at the good sides of...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's part of the good side, right? That being comfortable sitting back in the corner of your home with your family as a woman, you just don't feel like... I mean, from the way I see you right now, you feel like having a nap, right? So if you feel like having a nap and the family are back from work before too long, your husband is there, the children are back from school, and you don't feel like getting into the kitchen, you should be able to order something online and then have everybody fed properly, without stress. However, that's giving a bit of what I'll call skepticism to a lot of people right about now because they are not so very comfortable knowing that when you pay to a certain set of people, you may not get value for your money.
Those quality control.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a bit of concern, but I mean, I think the Lagos State government is doing a lot to work around it.
Let's also look at the informal business sector now and how they are thriving in Lagos.
Okay, they are doing well. They are doing well. The plank sellers, they are doing well. Like I said, it looks to me as though their market isn't as what it used to be to some of them. Why? Because of the involvement of technology, people are leaving them backwards. They are leaving them behind. The reason is not far-fetched. There is a trend that is ongoing at the moment in Lagos, and everybody needs to do their best to meet up with that trend. And that trend is the trend of this technology that we just spoke about. Regardless of what you do, I've seen a person who sells herb now, advertising on the internet. Herb seller, H-E-R-B. Agbo, in that context. They now advertise online, and that's to tell you that regardless of where you are across the globe, you can reach out to them. You want them to send it to you in Canada, in America, in London, they can do that. So how much more a person that is right here in Lagos? So which means that you don't have to get, in those days, we would travel all the way to a place called Olosha, where you can get the real Agbo sellers, the real herb sellers, but not anymore. Right online, I can give a click to one or two Agbo sellers. Before too long, you get them coming into your DM, asking you what exactly the problem is, and they're ready to attend to you. So these are informal, market people, and they are also thriving, but there is a need for them to tap into technology before it gets too late, including the plank sellers. I've seen people sell, I've seen a plumber in recent time who advertises his stuffs. He would even lecture people the different types of sock away, the different types of this, what this pipe is meant for, what this pipe is used for. So if you buy this instead of this, what you stand to suffer, and all of that. So, I mean, we are moving. We are moving.
All right. Let's also look at education now, and that's getting vocational skills and how it is also thriving here in Lagos. I know that the Lagos State government is big on, vocational skills. We have various training centers across the state, and how is this also contributing to creating a conducive environment here in Lagos for businesses?
All right. Vocation is not what anybody wants to underplay or put aside for any reason whatsoever. I would say the most thriving economies in the world are vocational based. And I stand to be corrected, right? Go to Japan, you know, go to Germany, go to China, go and see what they are doing today. What they've been able to do is to separate academic from vocational studies, right? Such that a child, as they grow, they begin to study their interests, right? And as soon as they identify that this is what this child, including football, you know, in Spain, from the age of 5, 6, they start having different groups, different teams, and they invite these children to come play with them. And before too long, you see that they would have developed so much interest. They understand that there is a career path in what we are doing. And as soon as they adopt it, they see it as a lifestyle. And before they get to the age of 15, 16, they're already doing well. They're already doing great. So in Nigeria, we have a perception that is very wrong that I need people to change as quickly as possible. Right? What's that perception? When you ask a child to go as an apprentice with a mechanic, let's say a mechanic that works on my car, if I eventually push my son to him and say, hey son, go learn what this guy is doing. Yeah, you can actually be a mechanical engineer going from the school. But I tell you, the knowledge from the school is theoretical. It's theoretical, right? It's not that practical thing that they need to understand. A person that deals with vehicles on a daily basis, right? What it does is it sees the practical way of what problem it is, discovering what problems are wrong with a particular vehicle, and being able to solve that problem, right? And then a person who has learned that there's something called fuel filter, there's something called water this, you know, you are not seeing those things. You don't have hands on deck. You can't compare the result of these two at the end of the day. One will be able to speak a lot of grammar, oh yes, but the other will be able to put hands on deck and solve problems practically. So if you want a child to study mechanical engineering, for instance, let him start with the practical part by engaging him with a mechanic, right? A street mechanic, you know, an informal sector mechanic. Engage him with him, let him learn the basics. Maybe at GSS3, they are going to have a long break. Let him engage for about 3 months or 6 months. He has learned something. When he's done with his SS3, let him also engage again for another 3 months or 6 months. That would have added a lot of value to the system. By the time he gets into the university and the lecturer says A, B, C, D, he understands. He's able to, God bless you, he's able to resonate with what that lecturer is actually teaching them. So vocation should not be played down in this part of the world. It's one of the things that is killing us, because as soon as you say, son, go learn this, son, go learn that, people see you as a bad parent. They see you as subjecting your child to something that is horrific. You know, and it shouldn't be perceived that way. We need to change our orientation. We need to change our perception of these things. They are not bad, right? This is what they do abroad. It's just that we have not provided for them a conducive environment in that aspect, right, to carry out these things. If we have a mechanic village, for instance, where students who are on IT can actually go and learn for 3 months without rain, you know, falling on them, without sun, you know, without
conducive environment.
God bless you. So it boils down to that conducive environment. So the government needs to look into all of these things. Agidingbi is now in shambles, taking over from the mechanics. There is no replacement for it. Is a topic for another day.
That's a topic for another day. All right. I like that you've started one of the things that government can do, but looking at it holistically now, what other reforms would you suggest in ensuring that Lagos continues, you know, to create that conducive environment where businesses can really thrive?
All right. One of the reforms I would strongly suggest here is, like I said earlier, creation of sub-business units for what we have in the university as a vocation. Every course, every single course that is being studied in university should also be interpreted in the practical form. And then the government should produce or avail a space, a conducive environment where these things could be carried out. And I'll tell you, the President of the Federal Republic, His Excellency Tinubu, you know, did something that I came across on the internet recently. He created a large space for tailors, right? Where you have over 300 machines, and he's asked people to come in. They have different types of machines. You want to make a buttonhole, you want to do embroidery, you want everything you want to do is available there. And it's calling on all tailors, those who are complaining that we spend 3,000, 10,000 on fuel. No, you don't have to spend that much anymore. What do you need to do? Just come in here, pay 300 naira, you have the machine, you have the lights, you have the power supply. So we need to replicate, yes, to work. And it's just 300 naira per day. And in one day, if you know what you're doing, if you get there at the right time, you can actually make 2 clothes. So even if you're charging 10,000 or 5,000 naira for each, it means that with 300 naira, you've made about 10,000 naira. Look at the ratio. So what am I trying to say in essence? Let the government consider the possibility of creating more of such hubs where people can have hands on deck, vocational studies, and be able to do that in a very conducive environment that is not speaking to the, especially some of the children that we have now. You'll find that they will look at a particular environment and tell you, Dad, you want me to stay here? It's not because the child is not willing, but when he looks at the environment and the kind of people gathered there, he feels he's way above that nonsense you're introducing him to. Because it's something sensible, right? But to that child, it becomes a nonsense the moment it gets to that environment and the environment is not up to his standard, right? So the government needs to help us boost all of this, do the same for carpentry, do same for tailoring, do for welding, create a space for those in the plank and, and all sorts. Just duplicate same. You've done for tailors, look for other sectors and, do something for them. The mechanic, the electrical mechanic, and so on and so forth.
Now this is
it's going to help us.
This is beyond Lagos anyway.
Yes.
And so,
well, it's not beyond Lagos. I'll take that from you.
Okay.
The reason is this. Lagos has always been seen to be the head. We set the pace and others follow. So if the Lagos state government introduce that today, if they choose to introduce that today, you find that in no long time, you start seeing other governments replicating it.
Okay.
I was privileged to have been with the governor of Kaduna State sometimes about 3, 4, 5 years, and I went on that trip with the former general manager, Lagos State Environmental Management, Lasema, right?
Okay.
Maybe environmental or something, Lasema, basically. We traveled we were hosted by the governor, Kaduna State, Governor El-Rufai at the time. And what was it that he wanted from us? He needed a consultant, and he needed somebody that could put them through what the Lagos state government is doing, right, to ensure that they reduce the risk, right, around Lagos. And when there are major issues, right, they are able to cover within a short period of time. That's the work of Lasema, basically, right? And they were doing well to the extent that virtually every other governor are aware of what they are doing. If there's an accident on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, in a twinkle of an eye, it is taken off the road. If there is anyone within the roads, within the metropolis, it is taken away, So they feel that these people are effective. How can we replicate same in our state? So you saying that's applicable to other states. Let's start with Lagos, because Lagos lead and others follow.
Others follow. Indeed, Lagos leads and others follow. But again, looking at other global cities who have really done well in creating conducive business environment for their people, what lessons can Lagos learn from them?
Well, it's a good thing that we have a governor that listens. That's number one. It's also a good thing that our governor is well-traveled, I'm not going to tell him the lessons to learn. He was at a program recently, and he was in the midst of world leaders, global leaders. So he knows what to do. But as a consultant, and sitting in the gamut of a consultant right here on this program, I would say that we should do beyond just seeing things.
What do you mean?
So what I mean is this. Going beyond just seeing what is applicable, what is being done in those global cities, those thriving economies, we should also see into the possibility of bringing them back home and implementing same here. Should I rephrase that again? We need to go beyond just going around the world to see the technology involvement, the economical values and improvements there. We need to also bring it back home and replicate it for our people. That's when the whole essence of our traveling and our trips would be meaningful to the people of Lagos.
So for those who are new to the business sector, that's the new or upcoming entrepreneurs now, it has been established that Lagos is indeed a conducive space for any business to thrive.
Right.
So what are the, I would need you to give a guide for them to take their baby steps.
Okay, when you get to Lagos, do not be too quick to join any group or to get fascinated by what you see on the internet, lest you get into the wrong hands. Make sure that you make your findings primarily, and upon making those findings, if possible, when they write that this information is from the ministry of so, take your time to go to that ministry and make proper verification, just so you're sure that that advert placement is truly from that ministry. And as soon as you are certain that, then you can take steps, you know, in following whatever it is, the guidelines that the ministry has laid for you. Again, if you're dealing with anybody in Lagos, do not deal with them in your own knowledge alone as a startup business, right? Look for people who could mentor you through the paths of business success in Lagos. I'll say that again. Look for people who could mentor you through the paths of business success in Lagos. There must have been someone who has done what you're about to do, right? Search for them, move closer to them, even if it takes being subservient to them. I don't know who you are, but it costs you nothing, right?
I really like that you mentioned mentoring.
Yeah, it goes a long way, right? Let them mentor you, let them show you through the way. That way, by virtue of being your mentor, they would be willing to also introduce you to people around. Those who have worked with them successfully, those who have worked with them that has integrity, they would introduce them to you, and from there you could pick up with your own business.
Because I like that you really touched on mentoring, because even when you send someone to go and become an apprentice, that's kind of a form of, you know, going for mentorship.
Yeah,
but
sure.
You see, the young people that we have today do not really want to be mentored. Everyone wants to be a boss on his own, and let's look at the implications of that. The
implication is simple and straight. The implication is failure at the long run. Imminent failure, because you are not being mentored by anybody. Permit me to say this in Yoruba, and I will say it in English. A child who has not been beaten, who has not gone through the rudiments of teaching or learning, who then claims to be very intelligent. Where is your teacher? Where is the teacher that teaches without chastising? That's the meaning. So in other words, what we are saying here is that as a growing child, or as a business that is just coming up, look for people who knows better than you do. It is very key that you work with them to achieve your business growth and success. Two things you need to develop in the course of developing a business. Number one, develop yourself, self-development and growth. Because if you have a business and you're starting up afresh, people wouldn't see so much of that business until they see who you are. So your personality, your representation of the business matters a lot. Your dressing, your conduct as a person, your disposition, right? All of this put together has a whole lot of role to play, right? Then another thing is that you learning from somebody is key. You know, I was on a program yesterday, an international program, and the man was asking that which business do you know in Nigeria that people would not have to learn from somebody? There is practically none, including Alagaduru, Alagajoko, and the rest of it. You have to learn. No matter how talented, there's a place for talent. There's a place for gifts, you know, but there's also a place of learning and mentorship. You know, when you are mentored, number one thing, your mentor wouldn't want you to go wrong. Why? Because he has a stake in your life and in your success. You know why? I won't call you my mentor and you watch me fail. Everybody knows that you're my mentor. So if I'm a failure, obviously my mentor is a failure. So there is that place of responsibility to the mentor who ensures that you must not be wrongly guided.
So from what you have said, now I have a question.
Again.
Should making money be the main goal of starting a business, or what should be the basis?
All right, that's a very powerful question. And I would say this, I don't know the number of youths that are listening out there, you know. Making money shouldn't be the goal at the primary level, at the initial stage. The reason is not far-fetched. The reason is this: when you are after making money at the initial stage of your life, you end up not making money. When your goal, when your objective is money-based, money-centric, all right, you won't end up getting the money. But what should be the focus at the initial stage is creating value. I'll say that again. Creating value. When you create value, money would find itself and its way to you. What have I said? When you have 2, 3, 4, 5 skills, do not monetize it yet. Go freely and do it for people. Let them feel what you can do, and then let there be referrals. Create what we call human placards and human billboards. It is cheaper but more effective. What is human placard? Individuals that are carrying your name around. They say, this is LTV8, they've done me well, this is LTV8. You would listen more to me when I tell you that LTV8 has done me well, rather than you listening to a billboard that just wrote LTV8, the place for entertainment or blah, blah, blah. You get what I mean? Because I'm your friend. You believe that I don't have a cause or a reason to deceive you. So if I say to you that this man has done me well, you also want to give him a trial. So make human placards, make human billboards. Don't go and spend millions on billboards on the streets without creating value that individuals can attest to.
So from all we have said today, aside the fact that Lagos is indeed a conducive place for businesses to thrive, the sole aim of business should not just be about making money, but creating value.
Values, yes.
Interesting conversation we've had here today, here in the studio, discussing conducive business environment in Lagos. And we must thank you, Leke Ogundimu, for your time on the conversation.
My pleasure,
He
always.
is a business development strategist. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you too for having me.
The conversation continues after this. Stay with us.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.